Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, Tankers of Blitz Universe, to the channel. We're going to take a look at everything that's going to be on offer in World of Tanks Blitz in update 7.7. And obviously, the star of the show has to be the TVP 50/51. The new Tier 10 Czechoslovakian / European medium tank. It features a 4-shot autoloader. It is really quick, it is really maneuverable, but it has a long reload time because of 4 shots in the autoloader. And the armor isn't really spectacular. We're going to show you the tank in a few games. First things first, we're going to show you the tech tree. And it branches off at the STRV M42, so we have to play that tank again. Starting with the STRV M42, you can go to the Skoda T25, as you can see, which is more or less the same tank as in the Tier 5 German tech tree already as a premium tank, which means that the armor isn't really there. This is a KV2 snack, obviously. You have a gun which does 1600 on damage per minute with a 3-shot autoloader, which I think is actually a first for any of the Tier 6 tanks currently available. 132 in terms of penetration is a bit on the lowish side, to be fair, because at the moment the lowest one is about the P43, actually at 140. And for a 3 EZ Sherman gets 128, so yeah, it is on the lower part of the spectrum. But you do get 3 shots, obviously, with a 1.5 second reload time. That means that you get 480 within 3 seconds. Boom, 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 straight into the enemy. That's going to be all fine and dandy. This is going to be a quick runaway tank, just bang somebody hard and then bugger off. 10 degrees of gun depression, really nice. Top speed, as you can see, 60 kilometers forward, 20 in reverse, average speed, all there. And power to weight ratio isn't that bad either, in my opinion. And if you're looking at the turret turn rate and the hull turn rate, 37 degrees on the turret, 46 I should say on the hull. That isn't too bad whatsoever. And mind you, this is all with just the tank. No equipment fitted yet. As you can see, the whole tank had been already researched. This is on the RU server currently. On the open test, you can't access this unless you have a RU account. But that also meant that all the tanks were already released. So I can't really tell you how many XP you need to hoard to get these tanks and how much you have to play the STRV M/42. Moving on towards the T34-100. Which is, as you can see, pretty much a T34 with a big mantlet added on the front and a 100mm gun. We're going to look into that tank. We have the 100mm VZ44S, which is the gun. And in terms of armor, you can see 90 on the turret front, 45, 45, 45 on the hull all around. Turret seems to be really well armored, or should I say just, it's nicely armored. Maybe it isn't brilliant, but it is nicely armored. You have got a gun that does 848 damage per minute at a reload time of nearly 9 seconds. 175 in terms of penetration, which is again a bit on the lowish side. Or maybe in the middle. Maybe it's more in the middle of the spectrum actually, because we have the 3002D, the German Tier 7 tank, at 145 base pen, and you have the brilliant Panther 1 at 198, so it is middle of the pack. What do you have is 280 in terms of damage, and that's a really tasty shell for a Tier 7 tank. There's tanks that obviously have 225, you have an M4 FL10, the premium tank with a 3-shot autoloader, you have the 290 of the Leo, so this one is a hard hitter, let's put it that way. You have to get used to the gun depression. It's only 7 degrees. That is a bit worrying maybe, because you come from 10 and then you have to adjust to 7 degrees. And as you can see, it is a bit slower as well. Where the T25 may be that 1, 2, 3 quick hitter and then bugger off, this is a bit of a cross between, I think, a tank destroyer and a medium tank. Turret turn rate 41 degrees, 54 on the hull, as you can see, so fairly maneuverable, no problems whatsoever, no questions asked. Let's move on towards Tier 8, towards the VTU, shall we? Yes, we shall. This one looks quite good in my opinion. Just look at that long gun. Kaboom! Just look at that gun. But the biggest problem is the fact that it is really flat. Tasty size. As you can see, the frontal armor is a little bit angled on the front and also a little bit on that front plate, but I don't think you will bounce a lot with this, to be honest. Let's dive into the statistics of the TVP VTU while I'll get a little bit of stuff on this screen sorted so we can take a quick look at all the other tier 8 tanks currently in the game. And let's face it, tier 8 is a really crowded place when it comes to medium tanks. Anyways, what do you have? You have a choice of 3 guns in total. You have to get 3 engines as well. We already have the Top Gun fitted, and that's probably what you will want to look at anyway. So let's hop on, let's hop in. 95 on the turret, 60-40 on the side, so that's pretty much the same as the T-34-100. 90 on the hull front, but that's the thickest part. I doubt you will be able to bounce a lot of shots with this tank. It's 45 on the sides, which means that you can add a pinch side flip. You can't be overmatched, which is really good. And the gun, 1764 damage per minute. 225 on the penetration value. That is actually quite tasty. To put it into perspective for this gun, the Pantera has 203, the CDC, which is a premium, which is one of the highest penetrating guns, has 212. We've got a 180 pen on 181, I should say, on the T-34-2. We've got 203 on the Panther 2. We've got 212 on the Indian Panzer. We've got 160 on the Pershing. Oi, oi, oi. This tank rivals the Centurion Mark I with its 225 millimeters of penetration and a 310 alpha. This is all about the gun, it seems. I think I'm gonna like this tank. I'm pretty sure I will. What I don't like is what you can see here already right on the top, gun turn limit, 6 degrees. So you go from -10 to 7 to 6. This is not a ridgeline fight. It will be peekaboo tank. Peekaboo, just poke out, shoot, and then go away quickly again. But it is far less flexible if it would have, say, the 10 degrees of gun depression that the Centurion has. That one has lowish alpha at only 190, but it is more flexible. So, yeah, I think we'll have to take a look at how this tank plays out in the end. Again, speed is quite good, 60 over there on the forward speed, 20 on the reverse, 34 average, power to weight ratio quite good in my opinion. Turn rate 43 degrees and 50 on the hull, not bad whatsoever. Then towards the Skodas again, we've got the Skoda T50, which looks like this, pretty much already like the TVP. You can see you have a pike nose, I should say. It is a pike nose. You can't argue with that. It is a pike nose, but it's not really pikey. It's more like a flat pikey nose. And that lower plate, that looks monstrous. That said, overall looks, I like the tank. We have a machine gun on top with 2 ammunition boxes over the top on the back. This looks like a cross between the Russian tanks and the lower plate of a German one. Sides over there. It looks good. It looks good. Let's put it that way. We have a single shotgun, which I think is the same one as the TVP VTU. Should we have a look at that again? We shall. Take a look at this. Oh, there's a 10.5. That is a little bit annoying. They don't share the guns. They don't share the guns. That's a little bit annoying. Otherwise, you would be able to research this Skoda T50 and then get a gun for free. But that's a little bit annoying. This is another type of gun, a 100mm gun. This is a single shot gun. It has an auto-loading top gun, as you can see, the AK-1 Mod 50. But let's start at the top with the tank. Turret front, 155. Mind you, that's probably the mantler, you know, the nose. So that means that this bit will be like 155 in total, but I suspect the turret itself will be like, I don't know, 100 maybe, 90, something like that. It will not be too brilliant. Sides are 65 on the front and 40 on the hull, which means you can get overmatched by the big 152, 155mm guns you will be facing in these tiers, and also by tanks like the SU-130, which has a 130mm gun, and the Jagdtiger and the Scorpion G with a 128mm gun. In terms of gun, 2.5k damage per minute. I like that. 3 shots in a magazine at 2.5 seconds reload time between the shells. You get 242 in terms of penetration, which I think is indeed pretty interesting. We're looking at the Standard B, for example, 240. We're looking at the Patton, 218. We're looking at the Centurion Mark 7/1, that's 255 pen. T5041, 230. This, in terms of penetration, is pretty insane. let's face it, guys, 3 shots, 242, 290 on your heat, maybe a bit on the lowest side because sometimes you get them above 300 already, but 310 average alpha. Within 5 seconds you can deliver death star damage in 3 shots, which is actually not too bad because you shoot them and track them and then they repair, and you shoot them again and you track them and they repair, and then you shoot them again, you shoot them 3 times, and they will be very sad. High explosive, only 50 on the penetration side, but 420, that's really tasty. And again, 50 on your HE. If you use the calibrated shelter, would go up to, I think, 58, maybe even 60. You can penetrate your brother. You know, if you would face a Skoda T50 on the red team and smack him in the side with HE, that's going to be really nice. 8 degrees of gun depression, a little bit better than the VTU, so quite good. And again, it is really mobile. 60 kilometers top speed, as you can see. Power to weight ratio 20.9. Turn rate 43, nearly 44 already, 47.34 on the hull. That one looks really brilliant. Then towards the TVP T50/51, the top of the tree, the big star, obviously. This one looks really good. And what we get on this tank, and we should show it like this. Yeah, this is the one. This one has that autoloader straight off the bat. You don't have to research another gun. What you get with this tank, you can see I've equipped 1 slot. I have no idea why, but this tank came equipped with just 1 slot. It has that. It has the vents equipped over here, which means that the damage per minute and everything is slightly better than it is right off the bat. But still, we're going to view the tank right over here. Upgrades. Here we go. Turret front 145, hulls, the hull is 75 on the front, size of the turret 80, 40 on the hull, as you can see, 50 on the rear of the turret and 30 on the rear of the hull. This tank is insane in burst capability. Damage per minute, straight off the bat, 2568. It has penetration, which is good, but not brilliant. 243 is the lower part of your tier 10. Not by a long shot. I mean, 245 for the WZ, we've got 245 for the E50M, but you've got 255 for the Leopard 1. This may struggle a little bit to penetrate the targets frontally. You do have heat at 290, but what you do get is 4 shots in the magazine. It has a monstrously long reload time for the magazine, as you can see. This is 22.97 seconds, and that is, as said, with the calibrated or with the vents. You're above 23 seconds. You can't go to a spot in the beginning and then expect to have a shot loaded. It won't work, honestly. When you can find somebody off guard and clip them good, this is going to be brilliant, because you do have 310 alpha per shot. Times 4, that's 1240 average pumping into the enemy. Even if you would go full heat, you have nearly 1k. You have 1k average damage by a large RNG givers and takers, etc. Going to be really nice. Gun depression 8 degrees, workable, no problems whatsoever. And again, the mobility is it is sublime. It is so good. 38 on the turret turn rate, 53 on the hull already. If you get this tank fully maxed up, then it's going to be all fine and dandy. And as said, we will have a separate video on playing this tank, so do check that one out as well. As for now, we will hop into the other bits in terms of the nerfs, the buffs, etc. And then we'll have a complete picture of what update 7.7 has for us on offer. First things first, we're gonna get a little change in the tanks that are the Vickers cruisers. What is going to happen to this one? You can see over here that the turret front still has 137 in terms of armor. In 7.7 that will be changed to 90 mil. The armor of the central part of the fore, which will probably mean the turret front, that will be changed to 90 millimeters, and the gun shields both will go down to 90 millimeters as well. Why is that? Apparently this tank survives way too many shots from other tanks. It bounces too much, and that's going to be changed. Light tanks should not get so many bounces. It's what Wargaming says. D92E1, we're looking at you over there. But still, I think it's a welcome nerf because it is indeed a little bit too strong frontally, being a light tank. Change in the armor, nerf in the armor from 127 towards 90 millimeters. Then we have another change in one of the light tanks, which is actually one of my favorites currently. It is this tank, the WoT 25T AP. That tank will get a bit of a change in the reload time of the shells, of the reload time of the complete drum. And it's going to be for the SA-47 gun. The reload of shells inside the drum, which is now currently in the game at 3 seconds. Apparently this tank has been changed already on 7.7 on the open test, and the Vickers hasn't. But this is going to be the shell reload time between the shells, 2.8 seconds. It's not going to be 3 seconds anymore, it's going to be 2.8 seconds. Just a little bit quicker, just a little bit, just a smithering, just a bit of sprinkling of DPM is going to be added. But 2.5k, not too bad whatsoever. I'm gonna like this tank. I'm going to make a full review of it when it is available again, because as said, I've been playing this one quite a bit on my main account and I really like it. 2.8 seconds, little buff to the WoT 25T AP. Then we have a bit of a big one. And why is this a big one? There's going to be a change, I need this one, it's going to be a change to a lot of the heavy tanks in the Russian tech tree. Why so? There is one little guy, which is this bugger. This is the bad guy. You know, this is like the little brother who made the life for the entire family completely miserable. Why so? Little Yuri over here, little Yuri. Yuri has a big gun, and Yuri's big gun is the 122mm D25T. This tank rivals tank destroyers in terms of damage dealt, and they are changing that. What are they doing then actually to this tank? You can see that they are changing the armor penetration, 160 in total, and for the KV-1S they're going to change the reload time as well. It's going to change from 20.98 currently to 18.2. It says 17.45, but that is because I have consumables fit. I'm not quite sure actually. They're going to change the reload time to the gun. The info I have says, what does it say actually? It says from 20.98 to 18.2. This one says 17.45, so that may change a little bit already. But what they're basically doing is they are lowering the alpha, upping the reload, so the tank will be easier to play in the front line. You have to wait a bit less long for your next shot to be available. They will want you to go forward a little bit quicker. But the biggest problem now is the fact that this gun, it is on the KV-1S, it's also on the IS, as you can see over here. It is also, and we're heading back to the KV-1S, it is also on the KV-3. Right over there, as you can see. It is also on the IS-3 actually. Then we have to go back to the KV-1S. Yes, we do. We have to go to the IS. Yes, we do. It is also on the IS-3. It's not the gun you will want to be playing in the IS-3 a lot, but it is there on the IS-3, and it's actually on the KV-4 as well. Where is it? Is it on the KV-4? Yes, there it is. As you can see, penetration 160, obviously. Reload time 14.25, so it affects the tank quite a bit. For this tank, it may not be really interesting to use this gun, to be honest. But yeah, it is what it is, guys. This gets changed quite a bit. The last thing then, what are we looking at actually? Oh yeah. We are also going to look at this tank. I've played this one a bit, the IS-2. I didn't like it. I think it is a really bad tank. I've shown that on the video. This was the gun. This was the gun which I use, which is, in my opinion, at the moment the way to go. But what they're going to do is change the coefficients a little bit for this tank. They're going to change the dispersion per 100 meters to 4.41 over here. On the info on the RU forum it says 0.46, but apparently it's lowering even more. And what they're going to do, dispersion upon turret traverse. That doesn't show up in these statistics, but it is in the soft stats. This tank will be a little bit more accurate. It's not going to be like a sniper already, but it's going to be a little bit more accurate, and I think it really needs that. Last thing then to add, what they're going to do is change a bit in regards to this tank, the E100 and the mouse and the VK9001P. There were apparently some bugs in the armor model, etc., and that's going to be changed as well. Nothing to write home about. I doubt you will find anything about that in the gameplay, but I wanted to include that just to be completely complete about this, for completeness sake, and just to have present you with the complete picture and complete information. Mission completed. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe, that was all there was to say about the update 7.7, the buffs, the nerfs, the changes, etc. Biggest thing obviously is going to be a new tech tree line starting at the Skoda T25, T34-100, TVP VTU, Skoda T50, and we're going to end with the Skoda T, the TVP T50/51 at tier 10. 4-shot, auto-loading, quick tank, burst machine, can't stand any hits. That's basically the summary. Stay tuned for a quick video on the gameplay of this tank, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Cheers, happy tanking, bye bye.